Hi, Chelsea fans. My instant match reaction to the game. I've just finished my live match coverage, the ball by ball commentary. Arsenal 1, Chelsea nil. And I want to start by saying when your two centre backs, Gabriel and Saliba, are watching that game and they're happy because everything is being played out in front of them, it makes it easy. Any centre back that plays football does not want to turn back the other way and having to run backwards to face their own goal line or run towards their own goal because it creates uncertainty. They don't like people running behind them, running down the channels. They don't want that. They want it all in front of them. And we gave everything to Arsenal today they wanted pretty much the whole game. A couple of moments, maybe we got in, but couldn't do anything with the balls in the box. But only about 4 or 5 times, you only count them on one hand. But the thing that's disappointing for me is we're toothless once again. We lack ideas to come up with a solution. And it was just so easy. We made it easy for Arsenal today. And again, the defensive line is just sitting there in their formation. Everything's in front of them. They can see people making runs. They can see the ball coming this way. They can cover it off. They can step in. And by half time, Arsenal won up for a set piece, a well-worked set piece. They crowd the goalkeeper. We have a number of bodies in there trying to protect the goalkeeper. We get Reece James on Marino. James, he makes a run towards the near post and clatters into Nkunku with James. Gets the header, flicked over Sanchez into the far post to make it 1-0. Apart from that, we kept giving the ball away to Arsenal. We kept knocking it into them from Badiashile. I kept asking for Chalobah, not Badiashile, because he's got that in his locker. Give it away 3 or 4 times in that first half, which forced Arsenal onto us, giving us pressure which we didn't need. We had Sanchez, who gave the ball straight to him in one instance to Martinelli, and he made up for it with a save. Sanchez, a couple of calamities we had in defence where we nearly got ourselves in trouble. One of them, he had to palm the ball away. But he did make a great save in the second half. He made a couple of good, in fact, 2 good saves, Sanchez, to keep us at 1-0. But what you do is you then look at what we're doing with the ball at our feet and what we're doing going forward. And this is where there's a massive problem with the players that we got missing. Now, everyone's going to come in chat and go, we've got no Cole Palmer, we've got no Nicolas Jackson, and we've got no Guiu. We've got no option. Of course, we've got options. We have to utilise and make do with what we've got and get the best out of them. For me, Neto, I think he's done his time up front. He needs to stick out on the wing. I think we need to stick Nkunku up front. Because at the moment, in the first half, he was doing my head in because he keeps dropping off Nkunku and he drops onto that little pocket of space on the left-hand side and trying to get involved in our possessional play. And when he does it, there's no one up there on the left. So we have to keep coming this way and keep going side by side. And it was so telegraphed by Arsenal. It was so predictable from Chelsea that it was so easy. So if you watch my live stream, I will link to it down below here. I was saying at half time, what we got to do is get the best out of what we got going forward. And the only way we're going to do that in that particular game at half time was to say, right, Nkunku, you play up front and you keep making runs in between defenders, between the fullback and from Saliba on that side, between the fullback and Gabriel on that side, or even in between the two centre backs. Keep making those runs and keep forcing them to back off a little bit to get a little bit of space. Now, Neto for me is a winger. Put him out on the right-hand side on the byline and stay there. Don't come inside. Don't cut in. Stay on that byline. And Jadon Sancho, you stay on the byline left-hand side. That's what we should have done at the beginning of the second half is say, right, Nkunku through the middle, you two stay out wide. And everybody else that picks the ball up, no 10-yard ball inside, first ball must be looked wide. You must go wide left. You must go wide right and build from there. Because what it does, it forces the Arsenal fullbacks to second think, to take a sort of a think, should I go forward or not because he's here? They got to stay back and cover him. And it then prevents Arsenal from building numbers wide and getting overloads. We've got to force something to try and change something. For based on what players we had on the pitch at the time, that was the options for me. That's what I think we should have done. Now, some people might say I'm wrong with that. I might say I'm different, or you might have a different opinion. I'd love to read it in the comments. But my opinion is that we should have made something, a tactical switch, and Nkunku Neto right, Sancho left, and make the pitch big. And just as soon as you get that ball, first ball's got to go wide, has to be wide. Because if we keep doing it time and time again, Arsenal will try and win that ball and they'll try and cover that ball off wide. And then the space opens up in the middle to switch it and maybe play a little ball inside to Nkunku instead or play it into Enzo. We had to try and mix things up a bit. And the problem that we've got with the manager that we got is that we don't do it. Even when we got players that are playing fit, we didn't do it. So it's just the game was frustrating because we offered nothing. We didn't give Arsenal a game at all. And it's one of the easiest games that Saliba and Gabriel have had this season to defend against because it's all in front of them. Everything's in front of them. They haven't got to think about dropping off because someone's making a run in behind. They haven't got to think about going over and covering the fullback because there's a man on the byline making a run up the wing. So our possession was too slow. It was too laboured. We kept waiting for fullbacks to push up to play the ball to the fullbacks rather than play it into the wingers. Play it to the fullbacks first. And by doing it, Arsenal get back in. And Arsenal were well drilled defensively because what they did is they got everyone back behind the ball as quickly as possible. And they were quite happy to sit in and not even press us at times to allow us to have the ball, even inside their half. 5 yards inside their half, they're quite happy to sit in because they know there's no out ball now because you waited too long. There's no ball in the inside because we covered it off with bodies in around the midfield. And all we were doing was trying to find a little triangle, a little bit of space, and then trying to play a ball to try and split between them. We did it in the second half once or twice, but couldn't do nothing with it. And when we do get the ball wide, there's no one in the middle. No one in the middle at all. So people moan like merry hell about Nicolas Jackson. Can someone please show these people the last few games that we've played where we miss him big time? We miss a presence up front big time. Arsenal have stuck Marino up front. He's got 4 goals in 7 games for them up front. He's made a bit of a difference. So we have to come up with something. We've got to come up with a solution. Lucky enough, Man City drew this weekend. We've lost. We're still in 4th. Newcastle playing the cup final right now have got a game in hand. They win that, they go above us. So we're out the top 4. We have to come up with something different. And if the manager comes out after this game and says we got a little option, bullshit. Absolute bollocks from me because we could have utilised what we've got. And the problem is we don't. I could sit here and moan like merry hell for absolute hours, but I'm not gonna. There's no point. The message, hopefully I'm getting clear and across here, is we've got a manager that refuses to change. And I keep saying this. You have to do something different. Even if you're going to stick to your formation, you have to do a tactical switch of some kind to try and force a result. But we don't do it. And it's boring, it's woeful, it's too slow, it's laboured, it's predictable, and it's fucking bollocks. Thanks for watching. See you soon.